Is your Netflix suddenly running slower? It might be because net neutrality is ended. I'm Ben Trock, and this is a Lasso blog. Now, before you do something drastic like rage quit the internet, you might as well understand what's going on. To understand net neutrality, you need to know what the internet is, and defining that is harder than you might think. First, what isn't the internet? The internet is not a series of tubes, cats on your computer screen, or Facebook. The internet is not Facebook. What the internet is. The internet is a series of smaller networks that are all hooked together. This way, no one person can own the entire internet. You yourself get to the internet through an internet service provider, like Verizon or Comcast. This is a massive oversimplification, but I digress. This is where conflict of interest comes in, because your ISP, or internet service provider, can own parts of the internet. So, for example, Verizon can have their own video on-demand service as an alternative to Netflix. So Verizon, as the internet service provider and owner, would have incentive to make their webpage load faster, and Netflix load slower. While on the subject of Netflix, Netflix is a very high bandwidth webpage, because streaming HD video to users is very data intensive. This means that more infrastructure is required to actually send video out. So Verizon, or any ISP, would have an incentive to slow down Netflix while speeding up websites they own. Net neutrality made doing this illegal, and forced the internet service providers to load web pages the same way no matter who owned them. But guess what? That's over now. So now, Verizon, Cox, RCN, or whatever internet service provider can now slow down web pages to their heart's content. But what does this mean for you? So other than the obvious decrease in web speed, you might start to see premium websites like Netflix forced to raise their monthly rates. This is because internet service providers are now charging ISPs more for the same rates they got under net neutrality. So yes, your internet service provider is now charging more and not exactly delivering a better product. How'd they get away with this? Well, the simple answer is because money. The complicated answer comes in two parts. The first part is lobbyists. Internet service providers and the telecom industry in general have a very powerful lobby, which means they have a very high degree of influence over Congress, who is the body that regulates the FCC. Second, duopolies. A duopoly is like a monopoly, but there's two. A duopoly is when two or more companies create an illusion of choice by being the only games in town. Because of this, companies have an incentive of keeping prices higher. This is largely because even if, for example, you were to leave Verizon and go to Comcast, you wouldn't save that much money. The companies know this and are able to keep prices higher. There's more information about duopolies below. So that's the end of net neutrality, which is unfortunate because now consumers are getting a worse product and paying the same price in the best case scenario. Worst case, you're going to be paying more. That's it for this Lasso blog. Remember to hit the subscribe button to get continuing updates for all the news and happenings at George Mason High School. For the Lasso, I'm Ben Trock.